Yes. Okay, lessons need to be learned. Yesterday, I went to the park. And I actually didn't want to film it. But what else is there to do? Because look at this shit. This is really thick. So what I'm doing today, I'm just resting it a lot. And I'm occasionally like doing acupressure. You have to be very gentle. Very, very gentle. And what happened was the day before yesterday, I already sprained my ankle by running over the meadow, and I wasn't really paying attention, and there are like kind of like potholes in the meadow like this. I mean, you know what a pothole is. It's a deep hole. And I sprained my ankle already the day before yesterday, and then I thought, focus is what is important. And then I thought, okay, what can I do now? I just ignored it and I kept going. And then yesterday I went to play frisbee again and I sprained my ankle. And I should have stopped then, but I continued and I jumped to reach out and I made a pirouette in the air and I landed. Bats! Hill down. I landed like this. Kratch! My whole weight. Kaboom. Now I'm just gonna pay attention to what's happening. I'm occasionally cooling it. I'm doing like this. I try to breathe into it. You know, I'm just seeing there are things you can do. Because I have experience with injuries, because I've had a lot of injuries in my life, which means I have experience with injuries. And I've already healed a lot. I mean, already through walking barefoot, you receive a lot of injuries. Just had a glass stuck in there, like a 1 millimeter splinter. And I got it out with a needle. So the only thing that could ruin my day now would be the fear that, you know, I will never be able to walk again or whatever. But to be honest, I realize the body can heal. I'm not naming what I have there. That's why I don't go to the doctor, because in Chinese medicine, philosophy, they say don't name what you think your disease is. Because if you give a name to it, you can even cling to it. You can say, I've got cancer, and then you cling to the cancer. But you know, if you start feeling sick, you have to do something. You know, maybe you should go hiking more. Maybe you should go outside more, do more breath work. Now, all I can do at the moment is just try to see how it's doing. Make sure it's not getting like thicker and thicker. Just make sure energy is flowing. You know, I cannot really tell you a lot of stuff. But what I do is, you know, I sit here and I already feel when I put it down, okay, this hurts. Now I can try to do like this, for instance. I apply pressure here and then I pull slightly. Just slightly. Like very gentle. You know, I don't do like rip. Until I feel like, okay. Because what you have to do is get your mobility back. Now, it's hard to say if there was something overstretched or whatever. Let's just call it energy. Let's just call it energy. And sometimes if you have things, you know, people start communicating with you. And there was nothing. You know, I thought somebody was communicating with me, but they weren't. It was just my mobile provider, carrier, whatever, telling me I don't have money to do this. I really like. This gives stability. I press here and I feel it go all the way up until here. This is acupressure because I don't know what happened. It could be all kinds of things, but the body has a lot of healing abilities. I hold it here like this. This is where strong hands come in handy. So I apply pressure so that the energy just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. And when I walk, I make sure I put most of the weight on my right leg and I just see how the left one feels. I avoid sudden movements. Now I can even press with my finger on certain points just to see where's the pain. And then I can move around it like this. Now I feel pain. It reaches down or up all the way until here. So you can see how pain can stretch out. So it may even be that there was something, like some hidden thing from my childhood, and a part of me, I often feel like it, that a part of me sometimes does things on purpose. Like I knew it was happening and I'm just trying to forget it. And in the end it happened and I think I knew it would happen. That's just how life is, isn't it? You have a feeling about things, but you do things anyway. Next time I will be more careful because I can seriously avoid things like this. If I would have just allowed myself to rest more, this would have never happened. I was certainly stretching my boundaries. I wanted to see how far I can go, and now I've reached my limit of what I can endure. And now I have to take care of myself. If I would have taken care of myself earlier, because I knew I had an injury and I had to act, and I didn't, I just kept going like nothing happened. I also have incredible, like, sore back, which is always right. Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to stretch it or strengthen it. At the moment I can't do anything about it. Okay, so that's a very private lesson in, you know, self-love, paying attention, awareness. Yeah, I got no fingernails left. It's either food or chewing on fingernails. I don't know why I don't know what this is. My lower back is sometimes feels like there's an inflammation. And what can I do then? Well, try to release tension. How do I release tension? Yeah, well, you have to move it. And if I can't move because of my leg, I'm just gonna show you. You know, I can lie like this, and I can just try to flex it a little, but I'm not sure. I think it's good, right? You just have to listen to your own feeling and see what works for you, right? I'm actually happy that this happened. That's the really crazy part. Because, you know, if I wouldn't have the injury, how could I lie around here and watch Ben-Hur? Well, you could say I'm only watching it because I have the injury. But yeah, the movie just stopped. You know, these are the quirks, the perks, I don't know. It's the upside and the downside of maintaining a YouTube channel. Because you can only spend energy that you have. And now I feel like I have energy. Or maybe I should rather spend it on creating. You see? I should spend it now on me resting. But I don't even know how to do that. Usually when I rest, I watch movies, you know? Oh yeah, you're sick? Watch movies. Right? It's probably would be better to just lie here and just focus on my healing, but maybe I'm doing that by just lying here and being honest to myself that I overstepped my boundaries and that now I have an injury because I wanted to fight for friendship or for being strong. Well, sometimes it's better to just say, you know what, I already sprained it once, you know. It really felt like when I landed on my foot, you know, it was immediately, because, you know, I jumped in the air probably a meter high. Let's make it 1.5. I jumped high. I don't know, as how high as I needed to catch the frisbee, and then I caught it, and I turned around in the air, and it was a slight like downslope, and my left leg just, and then I just lay there. I was like, ah! I really screamed. Like, really screamed. That was my warrior scream. And then I lay there and I just said, okay, the foot is still on, because it felt like, you know, it just ripped off. But the foot is still attached. That's a good sign. It's not like dangling around like this, like in Harry Potter. Okay, so I use the camera to open up now, because I'm not gonna call anyone. That's just what I say. And if somebody would contact me, I had a conversation earlier. Somebody called me, we talked. But I mean, if if people feel like you have it, you know what you're doing, to a certain degree, nobody can really help you anymore. Because you simply learned how to help yourself, and that's when you stop piggybacking on the state so much, on doctors, on the medical system, on the pharmaceutical industry. You see, they don't have to produce all these medicines for me anymore, because I don't take anything. You know, I know how to fine-tune myself with diet, with activity, with rest. I have no need for companies like Pfizer, right? To me, they're basically, in my world, they're kind of obsolete. You just don't need them. To me, in my world, right? And then there's people that are addicted to this stuff. I mean, to me, stuff like Adderall just doesn't, it just shouldn't have to exist. It's just my perspective. because I know how to do it in a different way. I mean, if you're a child and you're hyperactive and then people give you Adderall, or maybe you're depressed and people give you Adderall, I don't know why you give that to people. Then, to me, I just say, just work out more. Find a hobby, learn to invest all that energy. Because, if people say you're hyperactive, then what's happening is you just run around and all your energy that you have available is just pouring out of yourself into the environment, into the outside world. You run around like a crazy guy. Like, let's say, Kevin in Home Alone, when he realizes he's home alone, or when he starts being afraid that burglars are going to burgle the house and he's all alone. He just runs around like a crazy person, and only then he calms down. But in the time he's running around, of course, he's dissipating a lot of that fear. So sometimes activity helps to relax you. And this looks very nice. If I wouldn't have this, I'd be playing Frisbee today. But instead I'm watching Ben-Hur. And the DVD just stopped. And you think, why did it stop now? Right? And the thing is, that's what you start to learn, right? Your body is your body. And that's it. It's supposed to be a buddy. And if your buddy is your friend, then you have to take care of it, which means, if you just eat McDonald's and drink Coke and coffee and eat chips, you're not taking very good care of your body. Which is why today, I just ate figs and I drink the rest of the tea that I still had, but I'm preparing myself that maybe tomorrow I can cook lentils. I have to clean my apartment. That's something I have to do, and I've been trying to escape it because the weather just kept being nice. And I thought, why am I supposed to be here clean the apartment if I could be out there playing Frisbee, while it's still summer or the end of summer? Well, and now I got my paycheck. If I would have, spent time at home, quieted down a little, of course, now I can use this to talk about it. Finally, he's got something else to talk about it than women, or his lost love, or the love he still has, or I don't know, orgasming without ejaculation, right? I mean, opening the third eye. There's a book which some of you, maybe, I'm not a book reader. I'm not very fond of a book. It's called The Third Eye and the Wherever Humanity Comes From. It's from Ernst Mulderschew. And it's about eyes and the third eye and other cultures. Right, you've got like drawings like this in there, and then it brings it all in connection with epiphyse, right? Why the... I don't know who that is. This is a Lemurian, so he says. And he did research. It was hard to say, right? How true somebody is about anything. How true somebody is about anything at all. Yeah? You get it? Yeah? You get it? It's just the body. And it's hard to get there. I think that's one of the greatest challenges, to consciously let go of your body. It's a real challenge. Atlanteans, you know, if you're interested in stuff like this, flying saucers, he did his research. He talks about all kinds of things. I never read the book. I just read parts of it. That's usually how I do it. Hey, it's called materialization. Yeah. I'm not so sure about these. Oh, wow. Dematerialization. Okay, that works actually. You can dematerialize yourself by letting go also of what you think is firm and fixed. So I'm just talking from my own perspective now. Because I have experience with this, I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I'm not talking to people that are really insecure. Plus I'm alone, so I just realized, okay, at least I can still put some weight on it. I can still stand on it, which is a good sign. And to me, everything's energy, which is why I don't know what happens inside of this. I also believe an X-ray can't really tell me. So all I have to do is focus on healing. Let it rest, focus on healing. Go back to bed, come out, go back to bed. Of course, if you're working, people sometimes force you to go to a doctor. Because then you need an excuse, right? It has to be genuine. Well, that's then your problem to solve. If you want to heal yourself, I don't know, you just have to find a way. And if your team is good or your employer is nice, he'll just believe you. Or you can just send him an image and say, hey, I know how to do this myself. Because what's happening in this society, it's a very interesting topic now, and I didn't think I would talk about it. It's also an interesting change of scenery. What would happen if you would, right? Most of the time it's like this. You have an injury in this society, everybody wants you to be back in business as soon as you can, which is why they're just going to patch you up. They're just going to take the quickest route. But the quickest route isn't always the best. Sometimes it's best, if you have an injury and you just rest for 1 or 2 weeks. But then they say, yeah, but who's going to pay for that, right? No. You have to go to a doctor and he'll fix you up really quick so that you can be back in office as fast as possible, because otherwise insurance has to pay your work days. At least that's in Germany like this for a certain degree. You get money when you're sick so that you're not missing out on, not always, that you're not missing out on your salary, because you can't help it if you get sick. And I've had situations where I had work injuries that were really hard, and they were like, well, if you think you can't work anymore, this is how they are. They want to see how much you're willing to sacrifice your own health to boost, right, the factory, the industry, whatever. But I'm simply not like that, If I have the flu, right? If my body wants to cleanse itself from energy I was holding on to, and I start sneezing, I'm basically letting go. And then I lay at home. I simply say, I'm sick, I'm not coming today because I feel awful. Other people, they keep going to work and they just take an aspirin or paracetamol or something. And then it just gets worse and worse until at one point, it's like chronic, or they have to take like really tough antibiotics. It's just stupid. Because if your body gives you clear signs, I need rest, then that's what you need, right? If your nose starts running for no reason, if you have like severe headaches or feel like, you can't keep your eyes open, don't be an idiot. Don't just keep drinking coffee all the time. You have to find ways to alleviate the symptoms of your suffering. And then you have to look at and take the time where the suffering is coming from. What choices are keeping you trapped? What ideals, what habits, what mindsets? I'm struggling. I just want to drink a coffee. And I'm not sure if I should, but maybe I should, you know. What's keeping me from doing what my feeling tells me? Because sometimes we give too much credit to the word addiction. I mean, there's people that smoke until the age of 90 and it's okay for them. And then other people don't. You know, how should you know? Is smoking really bad for the body? I don't know. There's a smoke ceremony. So maybe there is a reason I smoke. But there's also, I think there should be times where you don't smoke. You know, if you're sick, why do you have to push yourself? And then I think, yeah, but, you know, there are things I don't know. Could drinking the coffee help me heal faster? Or just improve my healing experience? Well, making a coffee would mean I have to get up now, I have to walk around, which puts more pressure onto me. What I sometimes struggle against is feeling weak. And right now I'm simply vulnerable. You know, if somebody wouldn't be here now, they couldn't make food for me. But they can't. They can't, because I'm not telling anyone, I'm not asking for help. I say if somebody picks up on how I feel, they can contact me. And if nobody does, you know, I'm just here. But if somebody calls, you know, I'll have a conversation. And then I'll also say, you know, I'm injured. And then I'll see what comes out of it. And if somebody says, hey, do you need food? And then you say, if you want, you can bring me a pizza or a couple, you know, so that I can just, you know, have something nice. Because I'm not going to do much cooking, but maybe tomorrow I'm going to make lentils, right? It's always a possibility. So I'm now in the peculiar position. My lower back feels better after I started doing this. Because what you always have to understand, I don't know what happened there. It felt like it had to happen. It's often how it is. You know, like every woman that broke up with me, it just, or I broke up with them, it's just like, not this way. Because I was just jumping around, you know, giving energy, because that's what happens, right? You've got friends, you overexert yourself. And I injured myself. Next time I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna step a bit. I'm gonna step a bit closer. I'm gonna stop probably running around so much. Because if you can't throw where I stand, see, why do I have to keep running around? So I simply have to learn to just be where I am and just do what I do. But yeah, I do whatever I can to get better. And maybe doing art would help me. Now it says, how is that going to help you get better? Well, because it's also about energy transmutation. Now I have pain. Okay? If I make art, I may have something that helps me to think, oh, it's nice. Or I may even work subconsciously with the energies that are being moved and pushed around in my left ankle. Because this is a symptom of something. I know this has been building up. I don't know what this is. But it felt like a part of me did it on purpose. Now, a part of me feels like I really jumped up and I made sure this was happening. I really made sure this was gonna happen. So that I could have days where I would, you know, just be trapped at home. Because I don't really get sick anymore. Because I transmute all my energy. So I give it all away also. You could say I invested into things. And now at the moment, apparently I'm investing it into this apartment again. It's really got pizza on my mind. Okay, I have this weird habit. I smell on everything, because I don't brush my teeth. I sometimes want to know how they smell. So I do this. And then I smell on it. And then I think, does this smell bad? Right? It's like when you fart and you think, I mean, to me, it's all right. I have no problem being in here. It smells a bit like fart. But on the long run, I'd rather it wouldn't. But it's the way I smell. But if somebody would come in here now, I'd feel uncomfortable. It's not exactly clean, my place at the moment. I mean, I like it. Whatever madness genius, probably every child is a genius. If you know in which area you're a genius. Because you can't be a genius in everything. I mean, your mind is a genius already. But for that, you have to clean it also. Keep it clean. If it's full with dirt. And now that's why now all the time, I hear thoughts or voices. And they say like, is it broken? What is this? And I just say, wait a second, just relax. Right? Just relax. Don't cling to the injury. Just let it fade away until it's healed again. There are people that healed their spine when doctors said they could never walk anymore. I don't know if that was Joe Dispenza or someone. I have no idea about these people. It's just a name that rings a bell. And somebody once said, yeah, that was him. Yeah, could be. But it shouldn't be, if that's what you identify with, I think there should also always be something else. Otherwise, you just sit around talking about one experience you once had. But you could build up on it. Of course, you have to talk about it. How did I heal it? How did I do it? And then you just keep going. And that's also something, to me, I don't know, depth just came. Some people, they first start doing something and then they go into depth. For me, I had the feeling I already had the depth, and then I had the depth already, and then want to find a way to express it. And some people start expressing something, they start drawing, and then people get interested in it, and then they start to explain it. I already started explaining it before anybody realized what I was talking about. And that's an interesting place to be in, because nobody knows what you're saying. Because nobody's listening. And I have failed to listen to the symptoms, but a part of me thinks I did it on purpose. But next time, I'll be sure to simply not run around and just, Yeah, and then you watch series, like, I just watched a bit of Rick and Morty. And it said, it's like the episode with the intergalactical cable or something, where they watch ball fondlers, and Summer and Jerry and Beth are in the kitchen craning about or moping about whatever these retina scanners that allow you to look into different timelines and check how your life could have been, in a different universe or whatever, or reality. What would happen if you would not have. It's completely pointless. Because then you see Jerry like, what? If we wouldn't have gotten married, yeah, maybe you'd be a human heart surgeon, but I'd be, doing cocaine with Johnny Depp and, banging celebrities on a yacht. Yeah, but is that so much better? Because it's empty. Now you've got children, you've got a home. While other people have to take drugs to feel like, you could feel much better about your family if you take the time to connect with them. And I do find a lot of truth in Rick and Morty, despite all the blood. You know, I don't necessarily need the blood, but it's there, and I still like Rick and Morty because it's, I don't know. Watching it comes easy to me because I can identify with Rick, and I can also learn to see Morty in myself sometimes. Okay. Wait. Oh yeah, and then he got the waiver cookies, and then there's another instance where he gets that it was a different episode. Yeah, I mean, come on, the 20 minutes, you can just watch it. And then there's another episode where he goes and gets some orange juice with ice cubes, and you think, my kitchen is basically empty. Would be nice.